Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. We're going to take a look at an Action Master this time around, as we haven't looked at one in a while, and this particular one is about to make a return to the Transformers toy line. This is the 1990 Autobot System Analyst, Mainframe. Mainframe was released in 1990. He was an Action Master, as you can clearly see, and he would only be available in shelves for that year, as the line would be discontinued here in North America shortly after the turn of the year. Mainframe was also a popular name over at Hasbro, as several years prior, the name was introduced as a G.I. Joe character. The name would also resurface in the following years after the Transformer line as one of the characters in the Cops franchise. As I stated earlier, Mainframe here is about to return to the Transformers line after an absence since 1990 when this toy came out, as Mainframe will be the robot that forms the Teletran 1 unit that will be included with the Ark, which should be coming out in the next few months for the Kingdom line. So, something to look forward to. At any rate, mine's a used copy, so for some reason there's some strange paint plastered on the gun, so we'll just try to ignore that. But unfortunately, it's also on the tread here of his partner in crime, Push Button. But at any rate, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Mainframe, Mainframe is a system analyst, and he functions considerably more closely to a computer than a sentient robot. In fact, the More Than Meets the Eye guides even goes so far as to suggest that Mainframe makes Perceptor look more like a party animal, given how dull and bland his personality is. Mainframe's idea of fun would be to calculate out the full number of pi. But since pi is infinite, it would pretty much mean that when he's using that as his excuse to be laid back and have fun, he's going to be at it for a while. This unfortunately goes against his partner Push Button, as Push Button would rather transform into the gun mode and go blast some Decepticons. Instead, he finds himself stuck debugging all of the different programs that Mainframe comes up with, while the boy genius next to him is off doing something else. Like, say, creating another program, or figuring out the value of pi. At any rate, we'll take a closer look here at Mainframe and look at his articulation a bit. His head does turn from side to side. It unfortunately cannot look up and down. The arms do rotate at the shoulder all the way around. You can spread his legs about so far. And at their age, you really don't want to spread them any farther than that. You can raise his leg up at the hip 90 degrees. You just got to do it carefully to keep them from popping off. And you can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. So, while he had more articulation than many other Transformer toys, it's still really quite pathetic, especially when you compare it to other action figures. His buddy Push Button here can only rotate his arms at the shoulder, but he can rotate them all the way around. And next, we'll take a look at Mainframe's loose pieces. Sorry about that, Mainframe. And that would be his gun. His gun is said to be a vibropulverizer, according to the instructions. Like I said, it's supposed to be in this blue color, so do ignore the extra splotches of color on here. I have no idea what the previous owner was trying to do. But like all Action Master weapons, the gun can also be connected to his sidekick. Push button does have holes on both sides of his treads, which will allow him to carry the gun as well, which is probably push button's preferred method of doing things. He can ride along here and shoot Decepticons in the ankle. Kind of almost like having a toy dog, having a small dog as your guard dog. Okay, to transform push button into the gun mode, we start by first swinging back the tank treads over onto his back. The instructions show that you rotate his arms as well, like so. And then you push this yellow button on his head and it'll spring the gun up. We just adjust it as necessary. And then you plug the gun into the end. And there he is in his weapon mode, a proton rifle. At least mine still has some decent strength in the springs, so it's capable of holding it upright. The question is can Mainframe hold him and stay upright? Nope. Can't do it. He needs something to support him. Will he stay supported against the wall? Nope. Can't do it. Cannot do it. That's the best way to display it. Now we'll take a look here at Mainframe's card. Now, we'll say the previous owner did a nice job with it. It's reasonably intact. Of course, we turn it around to the back side, and you can see up here at the top we have the Action Master logo. And then we have these power plans, which point out different features about the robot. And of course, as the robot pictured in here looks slightly different from the actual toy, this was obviously the prototype figure. And then of course over here we get the contents of the package, basically Mainframe, push button, and the vibropulverizer. And then the instructions on how to transform push button. And then it comes down here to the barcode and the robot points. Mainframe was worth 1.5 points. And then we get down here to the bottom with the actual tech spec. It's done up in red to show he is an Autobot. It even says Autobot above him. And the picture is, of course, meant to invoke the same picture as on the front of the package. It gives his name as Mainframe. It lists his function as Systems Analyst. His motto is, a program is only as good as its programmer. Something that the folks at Microsoft should take notice of. A walking, talking computer terminal. Would rather attack fourth-order differential equations than Decepticons. Totally committed to his work. Views the galactic conflict as an inconvenience he must tolerate rather than a struggle in which he must participate. Is often compelled to flex his intellectual muscle when needed. Equipped with 200,000 megabyte capacity. Of course, when this was released back in 1990, that was an impressive bit of memory. Nowadays, you can buy USB memory sticks that have considerably more capacity. So, Mainframe here is obsolete. His pugnacious partner, Pushbutton, prefers converting to self-propelled proton rifle mode and disintegrating Decepticons over his assigned task of debugging Mainframe's various programs. So then we get over here to the stats, and as you can see, they're going to be about what you'd expect for somebody like him. Mainframe Strength is 5, his Intelligence is 10, his Speed is 2, which means that Pushbutton doesn't move very fast on them tank treads. His Endurance is 6, his Rank and Courage are both 7, his Firepower is 5, and his Skill is 10, so he does have the brains to back up what he is capable of doing. But now we get down to my thoughts. Mainframe is a pretty dull and bland character, to say the least. He kind of reminds me of some of those characters from The Big Bang Theory, in the fact that he's going a little too far out of his way to prove that he's smarter than everybody. And unfortunately, not everybody wants to hear that. Especially if they are smarter than you, especially if they are as smart or smarter than you. As a toy, unfortunately, since Mainframe came out as an Action Master, he's not really going to be in demand, due to the lack of popularity that the Action Masters had, although they have been getting some more attention lately. The biggest gripe with him is the same with many of the Action Master figures, in the fact that their lack of articulation makes it very hard to position them when their little sidekicks are mounted as their guns. It kind of kills some of the play value that you can't have them in their gun mode and be able to pose these guys very well, because the guns are so heavy. The only thing that's made that worse is the fact that the toys have aged, thanks to the passage of time, and it makes it even harder, since you're afraid to break them. So trust me, I've had a few Action Masters have their legs totally collapse out on me, due to how much play they had. So, unfortunately, it is a side effect of time. Hopefully, however, Mainframe will be improved with his inclusion in the ARC. At any rate, that concludes my review of the Generation 1 System Analyst Mainframe. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join our ranks. Make sure to ring the bell so you get notified when we post new content. We ask that you also share this video with your friends and fellow collectors. That's what helps this channel grow. And also leave your thoughts about Mainframe in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.